Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Automation and gender relations. Now this is an interesting one because this wasn't on my schedule, but I was checking out a video on the Master Teacher BGS's channel for women. And check that out. I got he got some great information over there. He's trying to help out the ladies, but men can learn a whole lot. Men can learn a whole lot. And he was talking about, he did a brief video over there about an article that was from Business Insider. And the link to that article is in the description box. And the article, it wasn't BGS now, just for all y'all ladies who get huffy and think men coming after you. It was this article, Business Insider article. And this article was very neutral. It just said women are twice as likely as men to lose their job to automation. And I listened to the brief video BGS did, and I also read the article. The information is right there. Like I said, you go listen to his video, check out the article. People really looking at this stuff. Like it was talking about, you know, it said 97% of cashiers are likely to lose their job to automation. All right? And it said 73% are women. And, you know, when I read the article, I listened to the video, and I put a comment on the video, and I just said, yeah, this is going to have an effect on gender relations. But, you know, I thought about it some more because I listened to the video. Then I was working on an article for the Negro Manosphere, right? So just y'all check out the Negro Manosphere in the description box. There's a link for it. And also head over to Rom Wills About That Business. I'll probably start getting more into automation over there because that is a business matter. So go there, sub it, y'all. I'm trying to get to 1,000, y'all. So sub that for a brother. But this video, even though it's about automation, it was more for this channel since I talk more about relationships, right? Check it out. Check it out, because I thought about that. 73% of cashiers are women. We have, and something I talked about on the business channel. And this is another reason to sub it. Just don't sub it, but really all of this stuff is connected. Everything is connected. I mean, like I said in a video a while ago, you know, women buying like, you know, these yoga pants and stuff, that has an effect on relationships. So everything is connected. Business, relationships, politics. Everything is holistic. So yeah, definitely check that out. But you know, I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what, hold up. Because if you go in any retail place, right? Any retail place, you see mostly women. I mean, yeah, you get the men you usually see in there. And I mean, you see some men, but especially when you talk about cashiers, like frontline people, mostly women. Usually if you see any men in there, they're actually upper management. That's some stuff. But it's usually women, mostly women, and not always. But, I mean, mostly men in the upper management, but mostly, yeah, it's early for me, but it's mostly women. And if you just go to like a grocery store, because the thumbnail BGS used was one of those self-checkouts. And I had peeped that years ago when they had, because at first I didn't want to use self-checkouts because I didn't want to have anybody lose their job. But then, you know, it's funny, as more people start using self-checkouts, they start having fewer cashiers. So it's like, oh, wait a minute, do I stay in this long line or do I just check myself out? You know, I say, you know what, I can bag just as well. So it's kind of funny how things are connected. But it's getting more and more where some businesses are saying, hey, we want to train these consumers to check themselves out. And all you need is like one person to really monitor everything, so if anything goes wrong. So instead, where you might have had 8 checkout lines, you got 8 self checkout machines, and then just one person just to make sure everything go well. And depending on the company, that person might not even need to be there, because as they improve technology more, it might get to the point where you could even deal with any issues you have there, and you might just have one person make sure you ain't stealing shit. And then somebody might say, hey, shit, we can do that with a security guard. That person don't even know. Trust me. But see, these things automatically affect women, right? Now people will say, well, what does this have to do with gender relations, Ron? As I said, everything is holistic. One of the things that affected gender relations over the last 40 years was women being able to work on their own, was able to get their own jobs. Now, I know some women are saying, well, y'all trying to bring us back to where we depended on you. Well, that's what's going to happen. Because if you look at everything, it's almost a perfect storm. I mean, you have, there's going to be some definite cuts or some definite modification of women able to receive state benefits. And then even for the women who are saying, well, you know what, I want to work. Unless they educated in some STEM fields, or they have the education to be in upper management, or they entrepreneurial, most women are working in those service positions. That's mostly women. The retail industry, that's mostly women. And mostly women, there's a whole lot of women who make a living wage doing that. They working, even if they working as a cashier, like I remember, and this was back in the 90s. I was talking with this cashier. I was trying to holler at her, but she was making like 20 an hour. And this is 1990s money, right? So you think about it. So she had her own house. She had her own house, had her own things. I knew another cashier at this same place. It was a grocery store, because Ron was friendly because they all had fat booties, right? But it was interesting, right? Because, you had one had her own house. Another cashier, she had her son in private school. And not just any private school. I was like, damn, you sending your son there? She was like, yeah. I mean, women were making some money doing that. They're cutting that. And even this thing with the minimum wage thing, I'm going to just say, people think it's some big thing. And they're like, yeah, we're going to get all these people up to 15 an hour. No, if a job had, I can guarantee this, any jobs that are subject to that, yeah, they'll pay somebody 15 an hour, but I guarantee that person, even though they starting out, will be like at a manager level. It'd be like some form of manager, probably from one of those retail places that just laid off some people. Because if you have 10 people working at this minimum wage place, right, or this place where they were getting minimum wage, they'll trust me. It goes to 15 an hour. They're going to automate quickly. So they only have to pay 2 people where they used to have to pay 10, and the rest will be done by robots. Because even that article, it had a picture of this place, automated restaurant. It was like no cashiers, no waiters. And see, just getting into the gender relations part of it, that was a big part. That was a big part of women being strong and independent. That was a big part of it. They didn't need the man. They no longer needed the man to protect and provide. The most they needed the man for was some good dick. But now women, this is going to force women now, to look at men differently. Because a lot of men won't be affected by the whole retail thing. And then you have a lot of men, they working in areas that traditionally don't have women. You still got some blue collar men. You still got many men working in STEM, engineers and stuff. And I mean, yeah, some men some men will be hit by it, but it's gonna be disproportionately women. And see, that affects everything. Cause think about it. I want everybody to think about it, think holistically. See, one thing about me, I know I come on here and I can talk rough sometime, and I can joke around. But let's put it like this. I could probably get paid to work at some think tanks. because the intellectual realm is different from what I present on here, right? And and just to say this, I used to get paid to like pay attention to things, to analyze things, to gather intelligence on things, and I'll leave it at that, right? But if you get some women, all of a sudden, if they have trouble getting jobs, and the state is like, well, we ain't gonna take care of shit like we used to. And of course, some men getting smart about that whole child support thing, because some women they gonna be trying to get that baby, get that child support. Some men getting smart. And let me put this out here real quick for some men. Maybe I need to do a separate video on that for men. If you ever if you married and you got kids and woman wants to separate, she talking about put you on child support, right away tell your attorney, do whatever, insist on joint custody. Just throw it out there right there. Even if I don't care what she say, you insist on it. You do everything you can. Trust me, that will mitigate a lot of things. Trust me. But like I said, that's another video. But think about something with this. If you got these women out here, they looking at dating differently. They looking at everything differently. All of a sudden, that average looking dude who got a steady job starts to look real good. In fact, that is the case in many so-called third world nations. Like if you deal with anybody from there and anybody who's like traveled, and I don't mean in the tourist areas, they travel. Shoot, if you got a steady job, you look real good to women. You look real good, and see, some women gonna have to consider more. See, right now, one of the things that's going on with women is that they don't have to look at the money aspect or the earning potential of a man. They can focus on just how good he looked to them and how he make them feel. Basically, entertainment. If you get some woman, she making enough to like have a decent home, car, pay for stuff. Shoot, she ain't looking at how industrious that man is. That's out the door. How smart he is. That's out the door, because usually that intelligence anyway, if a woman look at how intelligent a man is related to what type of resources he can bring in. But if she got her own, she ain't really thinking about it. But see, now you're going to see a big difference. You're going to see an increase in women looking at a man's other traits. A big increase. That pretty boy who was getting over, he gonna have to have a job now. Because first of all, it's gonna be to the point women can't sponsor him like they used to. Except for like those 92 octanes who got some professional job, and even them, they might be affected by it. Because think about it, you got we don't need accountants like we used to. Because a lot of accountants, they just do taxes anyway, and you got enough money, you can do it automated. Humans not even looking at these things like they used to. And there's a lot of basic legal stuff that is becoming automated. So even some professional women, they might have to be like, oh, wait a minute. Men too, of course, but it's easier for a man to get physical labor. So, and that's still going to be needed. But if y'all think about it, I'm like, wow, women going to have to look at all of that. So she going to have to think about, other aspects of that man, right? Unfortunately, it ain't making a woman looking at a man's character. But that's a whole other conversation. But you're going to get that. She's going to be more like, all right, is he going to work hard and all that? Well, maybe his character in those terms. Is he going to be responsible? Is he going to be steady? But also, too, y'all going to get a rise in acculturated prostitution. And acculturated prostitution is a socially accepted form of prostitution, in the sense that a woman can just really be straight up, even though some men will balk, but a woman can straight up and say a man needs to have some type of money to deal with. See, acculturated prostitutes don't take money straight away. Acculturated prostitutes do go for men who have resources that they will use on them. And you're going to see a whole lot of that. You're going to see some gold digging. You're going to see a lot of independent hoes out there. And what I mean by independent hoes, basically they'll charge money straight away. I've known a few. Learn some game from a few. They just gonna just say, hey, you know what? I'll give you something for $250. And anybody who really out there, really got some street in them, know that's a serious hustle for some like fine women in the hood. They don't go on Backpage or they don't walk the streets, but if they around some people, they'll let a dude know, hey, I'll suck your dick for like $100. Real talk. So you're going to see that this automation, it's going to have more, it's going to have some profound social effects. And I predict within 5 years, the whole conversation on gender relations, or even this like little black gender squabbles, it's going to be a different conversation in 5 years. And in fact, I'm already seeing it. I'm already seeing women on many levels being way more cooperative. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing a lot more brothers, even though you still got some brothers complaining. A lot more women being more cooperative, and just across the board, really. I got some of my white brothers. They telling me some stuff. So this is going to be, I'm paying attention. I'm going to be watching, but yeah, everything is holistic. Look in everything. I don't care what it is, a political thing. Oh, I could do a whole podcast on how Trump is affecting gender relations, but I don't feel like getting into politics right now anyway. Anyway, y'all, that's it for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.